Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Nina's Chelsea Corner and welcome to another live show. I thought it was the perfect time today because there's been a lot of interesting news and I know it's been a very quiet transfer window, but I've got a theory today that it's suspiciously quiet this transfer window. And I know that clubs are sort of reserved in the way they're handling their business, what they're doing in regards to signing players because of the whole new sort of protocols around FFP. We've seen what has happened this year. Obviously, Manchester City are yet to face consequences supposedly themselves. So I think clubs are thinking twice before going in for players. But yeah, we'll talk about everything. There's 6 of you in here. Thank you so much for everyone that's joined. Be sure to like the stream on your way in. It helps it share around to other people, reach other people. As always, I'm on my way to 4,000 subscribers now as well, which is insane. So if you can help the channel out with a subscribe, a comment, a like, anything, it really does go far and I really do appreciate it, guys. So thank you so much to everyone that's here. Say hello in the chat. Feel free to let me know your thoughts. But I wanted to talk about Armando Broja because we have seen that clubs are expressing interest in him. And on our behalf, that's very much welcome because, you know, we do need to balance the books. We want to sell our youth. It's pure profit. And we were looking at Conor Gallagher, but that seems to have sort of quietened down. We know Pochettino's a big fan of Gallagher, so if we're looking to sell youth, I think at the moment Trevor Chalobah and Armando Broja look like the most likely to depart this January. But let me know your thoughts, guys. I know we're all sort of not very keen on Armando Broja. What he's shown since his return from an ACL hasn't been so great. It hasn't been so promising. He's not really shown us anything that is worthwhile trusting, that makes you look, oh yes, you know, you could probably bag us some goals this year and look like someone that could be here in the long run. In Jackson's absence at the moment as well, I think he's got to seize his opportunity to step up and show what he's made of. But although it's not been that many games, I think it's safe to say that we haven't seen enough. But let's say hello to some people in the chat. Hi, Daniel. If we sell Broja, who's going to play up top? While Jackson is at the AFCON? Yeah, look, that's exactly my thought. And we are going to talk about it, guys, because we have to address the elephant in the room. It's no secret to anyone that Chelsea does need to address the striker situation at some point. You know, people will argue that we've got Jackson, but you're right, Daniel. Jackson's not here at the moment. And if Broja walks out the door tomorrow, goes to Wolves or Fulham or West Ham or whoever, we could potentially have him face us in a couple of weeks if he joins Wolves, for example. But it begs the question, who's starting up top? And I don't know about you guys, but I'm not particularly keen on seeing Raheem Sterling or Cole Palmer play as false nines, or even worse, Nkunku playing as striker. Don't get me wrong, he probably does very well up there, but after waiting so patiently this whole time to see him in his natural position as a creator, it would be so wasteful to put him up top and give him that role. So you're right, Daniel. But the fact is that if we are considering selling Broja, I'm sure that we are clever enough to realize that a striker needs to be coming through the door simultaneously. But we'll get into that because I know you guys know that there is this one striker in the title on the thumbnail. I would be happy to bring a striker on loan for 6 months. So ownership found proper striker for summer. Yeah, look, we need a stopgap. We need someone that's going to come in, buy us ourselves some time to go in for someone in summer, because I think what we actually are trying to do is get ourselves someone who can do the job for 6 months, who can, you know, get us goals, get us into those European spots, hopefully pick up more results, you know, win us a cup as well. That would be nice because, you know, we still are in 2 domestic cups. You can't rule us out for those just yet. So yeah, you're right. I think that's the best thing to do. If we can sort of arrange a pre-contract agreement with a striker that we'll actually want for the long run in summer, it would be great to bring in someone on loan. But let's just build up to that. I'm not going to talk about him just yet. Big up, Nina. Always appreciative of the live streams. And thank you, Paul. I'm very appreciative of you joining me. Let's get to 5K this year. Yeah, exactly, guys. Anyone that's just just joining, please do be sure to like this stream, subscribe to the channel if you're new, if it's your first time coming across my channel. I would much appreciate if you do leave me a like, if you do subscribe to my channel. Like Paul said, it's on the road to 5k, but yeah, it's been a crazy journey, but only up surely for Chelsea and for me. Hi Nina, hi Michael. Bit of an uneventful transfer window it seems. Yeah, you're right, and I almost feel like it's too eerie, it's too quiet, guys. Something is cooking here, something is happening, because I know we can't obviously spend, and I'm aware that a lot of clubs are reserved in terms of how aggressively they're going to shop and spend in this transfer window. You're not telling me that every single club is content with what they have right now. Every club needs a sort of addition right now. There are plenty of clubs that are, you know, rooting for a striker as well, that want a striker. Some need centre backs as well. So I think everyone's just waiting on someone else to start the domino effect, because it's almost like guns pointed everywhere, but everyone's scared to make the first move. But considering, guys, how crazy is it? Last January, we already had about 8 signings done. It's the 18th of January, and there's just been a couple loans here and there. But yeah, it seems that something is going to happen though. Like, come on. We saw the whole Enzo Fernandez thing unfold, and I'm not saying it needs to be something of that sort, but, you know, like I said, if we're going to be selling, then someone is going to have to come through the door. If Caicedo, however you spell it, is worth, Caicedo is worth 115 million, then yeah, Broja is worth 50 mil. Look, the thing is, and I agree with your comment in terms of the price tags of players now, we know has sort of, like, prices have lost value. Like, players have been bumped up, but I'll tell you why we're valuing Broja at 50 mil. Some people laugh and think that's ridiculous. How could you possibly request that? But considering for us, it's pure profit. You know, we're selling youth. We've molded him into this player. The fact that he is still young, he could be very much suited to a Fulham or to a Wolves or a West Ham. And, you know, the fact that we sold Mason Mount, was it 65 million? Someone reminds me, was it 60 or 65 million last year? We priced Conor Gallagher at the same price, 50, 55 even last year, when potentially his value, you could say, has gone up this year as well. So when you look at it from that side, we are desperate to balance the books out. So I don't think on our behalf it's ridiculous we're asking for that. But considering what players like, I mean, I know it's a different player, but even like Evan Ferguson now costs what, nearly 100 million. So prices have gone up, and you see like strikers that have scored what, 10, 11 goals now for just one season, and suddenly they cost 80, 90 million. So it's quite strange. Fulham game showed his value. Poch may not be the right coach to bring it out of him, but Fulham felt the fear of him. That's what they want. Yeah, look, guys, I always cut slack to players that have just come back from ACLs. It's always a difficult recovery. Everyone goes through it differently, but I think with Broja, the bigger problem is that I just don't think Pochettino trusts him too much either. We saw that he scored against Preston. His confidence lifted. You know, Broja is someone that really does sort of, in the same way as Nicholas Jackson, kind of get a boost from scoring, yet he was benched the next game. So I almost am torn here. Do I blame the player or the manager? Because I don't think Pochettino is helping him out in the sense of really like encouraging him to get some momentum, you know, find a sort of run of form game in, game out, because, you know, now he's kind of in the deep end. You know, he's our only out and out number 9. So, you know, of course he's going to get given the difficult job of having to, you know, play week in, week out right now as it stands, because there's nobody else to. So there's more pressure on his shoulders. But I just don't think that with a young player that's just coming back, trying to find his form, you benching him and playing a player that is not a 9 as a false 9 when you've got a striker available, that's on Poch. Totally agree with you. Broja isn't clinical enough. I'd give him another season or 2 due to the lack of strikers out there. Yeah, like, you've got a point, Michael. You do have a point. I think, again, he's got potential, but he's not quite there. Is he a striker that's ready to bag you 20 goals a season? I don't think so. But there is potential there, and that's kind of why we've been hanging on to him. I'm pretty sure West Ham came in for him last year, and, you know, we said no because we wanted him. But Tuchel wasn't really a fan of Broja, either was he? I think he was great at Southampton, but I don't even really see that player anymore. The way he used to pull away from defenders, sort of drive the ball himself. Now I see a lot of thinking time on the ball when he's got it at his feet. There's too much faffing around and he's trying to make it comfortable, and he's inviting a lot of pressure, and he's inviting defenders on his back. So it's got to be first time finish when you've got the opportunity. And I just think he's a bit more wasteful than he should be. I didn't see fear with Armando Broja before he got injured in that Aston Villa game last year, or actually now the year before that. But now I do. There's a lot more sort of a reserved attitude. And that's why I just think the highest level of the Premier League is probably not that suited to him right now anyway. I could be wrong. He could be a baller in a couple years, but just judging right now. Not many options left. Nkunku's injured. Jackson's at AFCON. Broja's not delivering. Only option is an unknown David Washington, who's only had a few minutes in a Chelsea shirt. Yeah. And guys, what does that say about us? What does that say about how we have done our spending? What does that say about how we have handled our transfers in the last windows, if that is what we're going to be faced with? That's exactly why I think if we sell Broja, he has to be replaced. There's no if, buts, or maybes. Plus, guys, I have other concerns about Jackson. He's away at AFCON, but we've already seen that he's been suspended once. God forbid he gets injured, but it's very much likely. Like, what happens if he starts picking himself up yellows again? That's not really a reliable player in the fact that, he can be a bit more rational with his decision making at times. He's just a bit too, what's the word? Reactive, and that's not necessarily a good thing to have. He's still young, so I don't trust him as someone that can be completely reliable, and that's the problem. That's why I'm so done with wonder kids, guys. Bring in some experience. Hello, evening. Hi everyone. Hi Liv. Hi everyone that's just joined me. We need Benzema. Well, Tony, just because you've now mentioned him, let's talk about Benzema. So obviously it's been reported that Karim Benzema has openly said that, he's open to moving away from Saudi now. Look, I think we've seen it a lot. There's a bit of a repetitive pattern here with players that have gone to Saudi, perhaps for the money. Some have said the football, but we all know what the real reason is. However, point is, you're not going there for a quality of football. I mean, no disrespect, I don't really watch the Saudi league or anything like that, but, respectfully, you're going to get a different sort of quality in Europe. And, Benzema obviously wants to experience it all. He's talk about winning, talk about experience, talk about European pedigree, talk about winning mentality. He has that. He's got all those qualities. And when you think about the prospect of even having someone like that at your club, I mean, who's saying no? Like, just the thought of it. Look, whether he's actually going to come to the Premier League is one question. Whether he'd actually join Chelsea is a whole nother conversation. But, why not? I don't really worry about Benzema being someone that's going to struggle if he came to the Premier League. I mean, I think it's such a bigger risk to take with bringing in a young kid like we've been doing. There's a bigger risk there than someone that's been doing it. Like, he literally won the Ballon d'Or, what, a year and a half ago? He's won 5 Champions Leagues, like more than 4 La Liga titles, I'm pretty sure, over 20 trophies at Real Madrid. The career he has had is one that any player could dream of. And if we're talking about all those qualities, then I mean, Chelsea could definitely make do. And guys, like last season, or when was it? Yeah, when we played Real Madrid, that very last Champions League game we played, actually, I said to myself, I need to go to this game because, one, it's going to be the last time I watch Chelsea in the Champions League for a pretty long time, probably, or at least a year for sure. And 2, I want to see Benzema play in real life. He's not the youngest anymore, 35 years old. I'm probably never going to get the chance to see him play in person again. So just that alone made me want to go to the game. So to think that a year and a half later, we're having a conversation about him coming to Chelsea is mental. But let me know what you guys think. Osimhen's finishing has been horrible at AFCON. Yeah, I've heard some interesting things about him. Just wondering, do you play? I don't play esports, actually. I don't play any games, really. Why is Nkunku not training? Is he injured? Serious? I think it's a minor sort of setback that he's experienced. I mean, I think it was kind of said that, like, it was a bit over-exaggerated with how injured he was, but I think he has just been sidelined. I mean, I'm hoping so anyway, but there's not really been any anything fresh? Do you want to sell anyone on our team? Well, we're talking about selling Broja. I'd potentially be open to it if a 50 million fee did come in, but I equally stand by the point that I think we should replace him. But again, like, who's coming in for Broja for 50 million anyway? I mean, everyone is wanting a striker right now. Obviously, the supply and demand is, it's evident. You know, everyone is in for a striker, but there's not many around, not many Prem proven anyway. So, not that Broja is Prem proven, but I just do still think that he will be suited to, you know, the clubs that have expressed interest in him. Because I think there's a player there, 100%. I just don't think he's ready for top level, but I think Chalobah's going to go as well. I think that's something that's kind of been in the works now for a while. Excuse me. Brewer's not worth 50 million, but you must take that if you can get it. Exactly. That's sort of money for him getting a replacement. But guys, let me just remind you that we did sell Kai Havertz for, what was it, 65 million? Mason Mount as well for that amount of money, or less, a little bit less. But, you know, my point is that we can sell players for more than their value, really. I mean, you look at these players and you think, oh, is that exactly what they were worth? But remember that they did come in for those prices and we did sell them. So never say never, guys. Do you want Jose Mourinho back at Chelsea? I made a separate video on that. It's on my channel if you'd like to see it. So you will find out in that video what my thoughts are, but it's a no from me. Hi, Nina. No one will buy Broja for 50 million. Yeah, I know it is a concern, but again, like I said, never say never. Don't forget to subscribe and like to Nina. Yes, thank you, Liv. Make sure everyone, if you're just joining, there's 43 of you in here now. Make sure you've all smashed the like. Thank you so much for watching. Havertz 65 million, Mount 55 million. Prices are mad these days. Yeah, Michael, just exactly what I was saying right now. So the fact that these players cost this much, it doesn't actually mean that much anymore. You know, it's not what it used to be back in the day. Like 55 million was extortionate, and now it's barely anything. You know, we're pricing Armando Broja at that. So yeah, again, it's a scarce market out there at the minute. So don't be surprised when these strikers are costing this much. Ella, hello, how are you doing? I hope you're all okay. I'm actually into the idea of loaning Benzema. He is a striker that lives to score and is amazing in the box. No way he wouldn't add to our team. Yeah, guys, come on. Who's worried about Benzema coming and not scoring goals? Actually having someone competent, actually having someone that will score you the goals. You know, the only two things that are stopping me from thinking this is a good move is, one, the money, and two, just potentially the very small risk of 6 months being too small of a time frame for him to, you know, to fit in or hit the ground running, perhaps. You know, not the youngest. He hasn't played in the Premier League, but that's just the only worry. You know, 6 months is a short time. You need to basically hit the ground running as soon as you walk through the door and make a difference. But I can see him scoring goals, guys. And you know what? I've said this, you know, a lot of people have been speaking about the club. A lot of us have talked about the ownership. We've talked about Poch. We've questioned management. We've questioned the squad. But reality is, guys, I just think it's so much more simpler than everything we've been discussing. So many of these problems could have been avoided if Chelsea had just addressed an actual striker last year. Like, it's as simple as that. I know it sounds mad. We were all obviously very intrigued by Jackson in preseason. He looked really good. You know, we were all like, no, don't bring in a striker. Jackson's going to do. I personally too, so I can't really act like I didn't say it. But, you know, the truth is, how many chances have we created this season, guys? Look at our goal difference. I think we're in the top 2 or 3 teams in the league that have created the most chances. But that's it. That's where it stops. Most chances created, but the goals won't tell you that because we haven't been scoring them. Guys, last season we were interchanging between -1, -2, 0, 1, 2, -1, -2 of goals. And it's pretty much the same, except this season we actually have creators in our team. We actually have people putting the ball in the box, but nobody's putting it in the net. So, you know, Cole Palmer can cross whatever or however many chances he likes, but we just don't have a target man. And let's be real, Broja and Jackson at times strike me more as wingers because they gravitate towards the wings too much. Jackson likes to come from deep and link up. At times, Broja's running down the wing with him, chasing him apparently. And who's in the middle? Is Raheem Sterling going to score you all the aerial crosses with his head? No. So that's just exactly what I think Benzema guarantees you. I'm not worried about him scoring goals. Do you know what I mean, guys? And we need it. It's just a short-term solution that will really bump us up in terms of goals. You look very pretty today. Thank you so much, Liv. You are so sweet. Really don't want to see Raheem Sterling up front again. Yeah, look, I think we all speak in unison when we say that. Another thought, what happens if we can't sell or loan out Lukaku next season? That could be interesting, lol. You know what? I'm not even going to give him the time of day right now in this stream. Hi, Nina. Have Sky, BBC, or TNT made you a job offer as a presenter yet? Hi, RC. No, they haven't. But if they're watching, I am here. Come and get me. But thank you so much. That's a really nice thing to say. Broja is not ready to be playing for Chelsea. He looks lost and low on confidence. He needs to find joy in his football. Let him go. Yeah, look, I agree with you, Peter. I think Broja would be so much happier being a first striker at a team like in a, lesser opposition, I'd say. Like I think he would be really, really suited to another team. And again, he is physical. He is someone that can be good if he's given time and he's trusted. He's not going to get that at Chelsea, unfortunately, and I don't think we have the time to give him the time, if that makes sense. We really need immediacy in our team right now. We need to be lifted from the ground. So yeah, unfortunately, Broja's not going to give you that. Jackson, maybe. I mean, at least he's got more goals to back up the thought of it, but again, I just don't think it's going to be good enough. We need a quality striker like Benzema so our young strikers can learn and look up to him. Yeah, exactly, guys. Is anyone actually saying no to the prospect of Benzema? I mean, Charlie, me, Charlie and Alex had this conversation on 3 points perspective a few days ago, and Charlie wasn't open to the idea at all, because again, you look at the money that's going to be expensive. You're worried about getting in trouble as well. You worry about how he is in the dressing room. But I just think it's going to be such a lift. It's going to be such a good lift, not just for the fans, but for the players. Like you said, everyone's talking about experience. You don't get more experience than Karim Benzema. And, the fact that every other Premier League team, well, yeah, pretty much the top four would have him as well. That tells you everything you need to know as well. And again, like Benzema, people are saying he's lost his passion and he's lost his quality, or he's a bit washed now that he's gone to Saudi. I don't think that's the case, guys. I think it's the case of he's just lost his motivation for playing there, because the quality of football is different. You're not telling me that he's not excited and burning and itching to come back to Europe to play in the Premier League. What a better way to showcase everything and complete his career that way. Washington looked tidy against Preston. He played 1-2 touches and looked for spaces nicely. Seemed to have a better line control than Broja, who is offside in every play. Almost scored a goal even. Yeah, look, I agree, but I wouldn't look into it too much either. We have a lot of potential in our squads. Everyone shows you good bits of play. Everyone has individual moments of brilliance, but frankly, we're looking for a little bit more consistency. And with the money that we've spent and how much quality we brought in, we really should be seeing more on a more consistent level. And I just don't really want to be looking at kids like David Washington, who, don't get me wrong, talented kids, but not going to be the difference makers that will save your season and get you back into top 4 or top 6 or the European spots. Big up, Mo. I hope you're all good. I hope you're having a good day. Thank you so much for watching. What has Broja done to be worth 50 million? Again, it's nothing he's done. It's just pure profit. It's on our behalf. We're looking at the fact that we sold Kai Havertz and Mason Mount for the prices that we did. We're looking at the fact that we priced Conor Gallagher around the same sort of frame. So we're taking inspo from that. And like I said, it's a scarce market for strikers. A lot of Premier League clubs are on the lookout for one. So I know, Lee, it sounds a bit steep, but really it's not as ridiculous as you think. I probably wouldn't pay that. But again, if you're desperate and you see quality in him, why not? Why not? We can't rely on Jackson. I have no confidence in him. We need a good defender and a proper striker who can give 20 goals. Exactly right. Spot on. And you know what, guys? I think we'll really find out exactly how serious we are about our season going forwards with what we do in this transfer window. If we sell Broja, then I hope, again, I repeat this point, that we're simultaneously got someone to come through the door and someone that's going to provide you immediacy. I don't want to pay 100 million for someone that scored scored 12 goals in his first season in a senior football team, but played for Championship last year. You know, I need a bigger time sample. I need someone that's done it season in, season out. I need someone that doesn't take ages to adapt to a new team or a new league. I need someone that's not going to get injured on the second day that they play, and someone that's just going to, get the job done. Well, that's a dream, isn't it? I guess. Who doesn't want that, Nina? What the hell? Poch is daft for constantly playing Palmer out wide. Cole should be playing as the 10. Gallagher either needs to play deeper or hold the bench. Definitely shouldn't be the 10. You know what the problem is with that, though? That means you got to push out either Enzo or Caicedo out, because if they're not playing in the pivot and Gallagher's playing further up, where does Cole fit? He's got to play on the wing. But when Nkunku's back, if Pochettino continues to accommodate for Gallagher playing in that role, then we're going to have some questions, because he's basically rotating everyone around him to fit Gallagher into the team. And he's doing it time and time again. And then, Enzo's getting played out of position as well, which is unfair on him. Palmer's also getting played out of his best position too, just to accommodate Gallagher. Yeah. Ella says, rumours of Mitrovic may be coming back to the Prem. Thoughts on him at Chelsea as an alternative to Benzema? Oof, I wouldn't even put them in the same category. For me, it's Benzema over Mitrovic too, over Firmino as well, who I've seen get circled around in news recently. But yeah, I mean, supposedly, apparently Mitrovic is doing better in terms of how many goals he scored up against Benzema. But again, like, you can also use the argument that Mitrovic has done it in the Premier League, so that should be something that you use as a justification. I just think for me, it's just a bit more of an attractive pull in terms of the idea behind it. But yeah, I mean, I guess you could weigh the two if you're looking for someone that's done it in the Prem. Obviously, that he's got one over Karim there, but again, I just prefer Benzema. If we can't get strikers in January, I would sell Broja in summer. Yeah, I mean, it's something to think about. The least you can do is have a little bit of depth. We can't have Josh Jackson as a number 9 in the squad. That absolutely can't happen. We've seen our fitness levels, we've seen the discipline, we've seen the lack of mentality. We're risking not even having a striker at some point down the line if we've just got Nicholas Jackson. It can't run, so we need to be smart about this here. He either stays and we actually still have depth, because a striker is still better than no striker. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, you have the option against Middlesbrough to play a number 9, but you chose not to. So it's things like that just don't make sense. They really, really don't. But yeah, I agree with Daniel. You really do have a point there with that. I'd be happy to see. I would be happy to see Benzema being here for 6 months. After that, we'll wait and see how he does in terms of Firmino. No thanks. Struggled even with Salah and Mane next to him. Yeah, again, look, that doesn't excite me in the slightest bit. I'd definitely have Benzema over Firmino any day of the week. But again, I don't think it's realistic, guys. I mean, I'm speaking about this as if it's generally being considered. I just don't think it's going to happen, really, because again, just look at the money. He's on what, $3,000 a week? No, not $3,000, 3 million. 3 million a week, guys. That's insane. Maybe just a little slightly over as well. I don't think Saudi are even going to consider covering any of his wages at all. And the last thing we need is to be in more trouble financially. And I just don't see from a financial perspective how it really runs. But again, I don't really want to think about it financially. But, you're not telling me that Arsenal would say no to Benzema either. I mean, it's just a kind of no-brainer. Again, I don't worry about him fitting in or not fitting in. We've brought in youngsters, big what ifs. Why would I worry about bringing in a well-established and one of the most established in that role? Are you going to Chelsea versus Real Madrid? No, I can't go to that one because I have exams coming up, but it's going to be a good day. Going to be a good game. Are you going though, Liv? Come on Sky, BBC and TNT Sports. Snap Nina are up. Great understanding of the game and ability to analyse and explain things in interesting and informative ways. Great personality as well. Thank you so much, Artie. That's such a nice thing to say. You have absolutely flattered me. Do you want to be my agent? Real Madrid won't buy Kepa. Biscuit Fingers got for 17 million. Sell him to Brighton for 15 million. Yeah, look, I only think that Brighton can sell us their keepers that they don't want. I don't think it's going to work the other way round, unfortunately. But yeah, the truth is, it's worrying. I mean, we all hoped that Kepa would go and he'd, really flourish. He's had really good games. He's had games where he's been very questionable. We know that, his collection of crosses, cheesy wrists that people said that he has, like, shot stopping, questionable. But Yeah, look, unfortunately, it's not going to be the case where we thought he'd have a really good loan spell at Real Madrid and someone would come snapping him up in summer. But again, I think it's just kind of backfired on us there, really. But last thing I want is, coming back at Chelsea. Like, what do we do with him? Hi, Stella. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you're well. Paul says we could use a strong, established player like Benzema, but I don't know if the ownership sees him as part of the vision. Yeah, look, I don't think they'd be interested either. That just means that they have to, again, undo everything they've done in terms of they have to admit that they should have brought a striker, really, in summer, or at least among the billion we spent, there should have been a more well-established striker. There's nothing wrong with wanting younger kids. We get the model, we've been through it, blah, 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 blah. But again, you're sacrificing present day, you're sacrificing results and goals for something that is a gamble. You don't know they're all going to come good. You don't know that Jackson's going to be a really good striker in the Premier League. So again, they're willing to take that risk. So why would they really admit that, it's too much of a risk and it's a gamble? And again, like, I dread to think this and I'm worried that this is the case, but I think they might be okay with us potentially struggling another season to get into Europe. I hope I'm wrong. I really do hope I'm wrong, but it could really be the case. But I don't think they want the whole faffing around and the whole inconvenience it's going to cause to get Benzema in for 6 months at Chelsea. Do you know how much Benzema gets a week in Saudi? I think it's 3 million. Yeah, come on, guys. He isn't coming to Chelsea. Yeah, I know, David. That's why I'm not reading too much into it, but just the prospect, just the thought, just the conversation is still exciting. When you loan a player, I'm assuming you're replying to someone else there. I can't lie, give me pure profit for Broja, also for Gallagher and Chalobah too. Yeah, exactly. We're trying to balance the books here, so you can't really fault us for that. Benzema and Nkunku linked would be good for 6 months on loan. Absolutely. And do you guys remember, like, Joao Felix? How much did that loan cost us? 12 million last season? And yeah, I mean, that was quite disappointing, but why shouldn't we go in for another loan? Actually, saying that now, we did go in for a 6-month loan spell. Why don't we go in for another one? Benzema could have the same outcome for our strikers and Silva does for our defense. Oh, do you mean like someone coming in and just being that player? Oh, you guys are replying to each other. No club will pay more than 35 mil for Broja. He will go out on loan most likely. Yeah, but you know what? Even that would be good for his development. Maybe he goes away on loan and becomes a better player. But I don't see that actually. I think either Fulham, I think maybe West Ham, most realistically, just because they've wanted him since last year. But we will see. If you were to pick between Messi or Ronaldo, who would you pick to be on our team? Messi. Jordan Henderson joined Ajax, so I think some will come back to Europe. Let's face it, the Saudi league, not of world-class quality, no. And I just think that we've seen a pattern now, a lot of players regretting that choice. Everyone, it's not all about the money. Players still do want to actually play football. That's why we've seen a lot of players turn down Saudi as well, because they're not ready for that yet. They still want to play football at the highest level. They're not ready to go yet, even if it just was for the money. The Mo stream was good last night. Yeah, it really was fun. Really good discussion. Thank you so much for watching, and obviously big up to Mo's channel too. Nkunku Benzema connection, that's a dream I wouldn't want to wake up from. And Osimhen, don't judge him on the AFCON performances. He is a top striker. That's a good point. I'm probably in a minority, but I don't think we should sign Osimhen. I'm not that impressed by him. Fair enough. It's hard to get consistent results when you have one superstar like Benzema paired with a team still struggling with coordination issues. Yeah, guys, and look, can I just be a little bit humbling, not even humbling here, but just a bit critical of us? Like, no offense to us, Chelsea, but like, if Benzema could pick a Premier League club to come to right now, do you think, and be realistic and just be honest about this, do you think he'd pick Chelsea? Like, let's be honest about this. I don't know. We should have kept Giroud. Oh, I love Giroud. Miss Giroud. So underrated. Would like Benzema, though. Yes, of course we will. Please don't refer to Jackson as a striker. He has no shooting boots. He's not Premier League. Neither is Broja. I mean, yeah, I pretty much tweeted that myself, so I don't know. Oh, that's a bit mean, but yeah, I mean, it's true. Like, he sometimes just doesn't look like a striker. He doesn't really know where to be positionally. It's like, Jackson, you're supposed to be the target man in the middle. What are you doing on the wings? Could Pochettino play Palmer as a striker? Really, Lee? Do you want to see that again? Do you really want to do that to the boy? I don't. I certainly don't. I don't think it's a coincidence that his worst game in a Chelsea shirt was when he was played as a false nine against Middlesbrough. I don't know. Good luck with your exams. Thank you so much. Poor luck is going to be needed. Gutted to miss out on Henderson. Really would transform the midfield. I can't tell if that's a joke or not. Can you say my name in the mic? Chelsea fans home and away. Chelsea till I die. We need a striker. So selling a striker to get another striker makes zero sense. Are we actually in a position where we need to sell? Benzema attitude hunger wouldn't work. Hope we don't sign Bobby Firmino. Look, no, I don't think we're going to. But do you mean that you don't want Benzema? Is that what you mean? He's not going to be good at Chelsea? Bring back Lukaku for the rest of the season. You guys have some funny jokes tonight. Can't see the owners changing their model. I would say Santiago Jimenez, likely, but another kid again. Not we are looking for Nina. Can I not read anymore, guys? Yeah, no more kids, please. We need some well-established players. Some experience would be nice. We've got enough of these. But yeah, guys, 50 of us in here. Thank you so much. And please do hit the likes if you haven't done so already. I have shared it around to my socials. So it's great to see so many of you guys here watching me. Thanks for your support. Can't see the owners change. Oh, I read your comment. Do you want to sell Nicholas or James? Do you mean Jackson or James? I wouldn't sell James. That's a no from me. I'll hand in my notice at work tomorrow to become your agent. Thank you so much. Based Messi enjoyer. Biased Messi enjoyer? Is that what you mean? Am I a biased Messi enjoyer? Who is another Mo? Huh? Big up, Nina. I just subbed to your channel. Love your takes and opinions from a Liverpool fan. Thank you so much, Indian Scouts. I really appreciate that. Welcome to my channel, and thank you so much for being here tonight. Why not try and find a goal-scoring midfielder? Can't see any decent strikers out there, so goodbye, Gallagher. Yeah, well, I think that ship seems to have quietened down for now. Maybe we will revisit that in summer in terms of selling him. But yeah, I do get that. I think a lot of people have become a little bit fed up with the whole, talks around him. We'll sell him. We won't sell him. Obviously, Pochettino doesn't want him sold. So I think, that's where they stand. I think owners do, though. Again, it's pure profit. And we really are looking at our youngsters and our youth as pure profit potential. It's the only thing is that's stopping them from doing that is Pochettino, literally. That's the only reason. But I don't think they really want Gallagher at the club long term either. Again, if a fee was to come in for him that was of what they want, 50 million, then they're not going to think twice about it. Do you really think they're going to listen to Pochettino? I don't know. Last January was good, and this window is so dead. Yeah, guys, do you remember, at this time, we were fighting against Arsenal for Mudryk. Enzo Fernandez apparently wasn't going to happen anymore. Do you remember that whole sort of back and forth that we were going with, and then it ended up being that we were, we'd left it. Enzo Fernandez wasn't going to happen anymore, around the 16th of January or so. And the only reason was just so that, of course, we could go in for the biggest headline of the transfer window, Chelsea being Chelsea, British record signing for Enzo Fernandez on literal deadline day. Yeah, it's crazy to think that these two transfer windows are worlds apart, but I don't know. It either seems there's a lot of thinking or something is coming, guys. Again, I just think the silence is a bit too loud. I mean, apart from Tottenham, who else has actually made a permanent or just a transfer? Or who? Nobody. Victor Gorkarez or Gonzalo Ramos. Look, Gorkarez is another, you guys are saying, 50 million for Armando Broja, but he's being priced at 100 million right now, isn't he? And I think he was at Coventry last season, and now he's obviously balling out, scoring, I think he's got maybe 20 or so goal contributions, something like that in his first season at Sporting, and then he's suddenly now costing 100 million. So this is what I mean when I say that, it doesn't take a lot for a striker to cost this much. Again, take Evan Ferguson too. He's about that sort of price tag again. So I don't think it's a surprise that we're trying to get this much for a player of our youth. But again, I mean, it is ridiculous, don't get me wrong, but we've seen that the value of players just doesn't isn't the same anymore. Even a lot of people will tell you that 100 million for Ivan Toney is crazy, but you know, at least he's got goals in the Premier League to back that. He's so much older, you know, he's done it at Brentford. At least you can back that up a little bit more. But you know, with players like Gorkarez and like such young sort of talents that could come good, then yeah. But I like him. I like what he's about. He's obviously got some like promising numbers to his name, but again, I just think it's a bit too much, and again, it's too big of a risk and a what if. But yeah, probably him if I had to choose. Smash the likes, everyone. Yes, what Michael said, guys. I think Benzema would be the same as signing Higuain. Is that who you mean, Higuain? I would take a punt on Ollie Watkins, yeah, but Ollie Watkins isn't going anywhere, is he? So that's not going to happen. Although, guys, I did see something about us wanting their other striker, John Duran, who's obviously a youngster, hasn't really had much game time. I mean, you're not going to get into a team over Ollie Watkins, but apparently we were looking at him, and again, it's another youngster. It's another kid that apparently he's got a little bit of discipline issues as well, is a little bit sort of too raw in that asset. So I don't know why we're looking at players like that, but again, I just think the priorities are all a bit wrong, aren't they? Do you see us buying anyone during this transfer window? At the minute, like how things are looking, probably not at like right now, but I do see us buying someone. I mean, if again, I repeat myself, if Broja gets sold, then we are definitely going in for someone. I think we need a centre back as well, because I don't think we need a centre back, but I think we're going to get one, because obviously if Trevor Chalobah leaves, let's think about this. Let's look at our centre back. So if Trev goes, obviously he's not been playing, he's been injured. We've obviously got Wesley Fofana, who's also injured. We've paid 80 million for him, and we've barely seen him play in a Chelsea shirt like more than 2 times. There's obviously Axel Disasi, he's had a decent start at life to Chelsea, I'd say. He's been up and down. He's not really impressed me so much where I'm saying, you know, yeah, there's a player in him. Got lots to improve, but he's looked like good on the most part. There's obviously Badia Shil, who again, very young, sort of promising talent, one of our best players last season easily, and was only here from January. So look, promising talent, again, made a few errors that led to goals in a couple of the games just before the year ended. But again, as a youngster, you're going to get that. That's going to happen. But again, very promising. And then obviously you've got Thiago Silva, one and only. Doesn't need much discussion. He is still our best centre-back, in my opinion, any day of the week. But you do ask the question, is he going to be fit to start every single game from here on? You never know. He's not the youngest anymore. He's 39. He's also going to need to be rested at some point. So you're literally looking at, we've got Levi Cole as well, but I almost forgot, because guess what? He doesn't play as a centre-back, does he? So moving forward, I genuinely think that we're not going to play Levi Cole as a centre-back. So that leaves what? If, say, Thiago Silva's not starting every game, you've got Badia Shil and Disasi. And if they get injured, what happens until Wesley Fofana's back? So you think we've got depth, but we don't actually have that much depth that you think you could do potentially with one more centre-back. And I guess we've had our eyes on a few. But again, it's probably going to be someone that's young. It's not going to be someone experienced. It's not going to be a Thiago Silva either, is it? It's going to be someone that looks good, shows potential, could potentially come good. And yeah, like, come on. It's going to be copy-paste to the profile of players we've gotten. Base just means you're right. Oh, I didn't know that, but thanks. The striker market is awful. 10 years ago, there was endless option. Costa, Falcao, Suarez. Yeah, look, and we've tried, but again, it's just different times, isn't it? Nina, I really enjoy listening to you. You are inspiration to all Chelsea fans. Well, thank you so much, Chrissy. What a nice comment to say. I'm so glad I inspire you. Benzema would have a few French players around him if he came to us. Yeah, that'd be also good. We'd actually have quite a lot of French-speaking players in our squad, which would be nice. Love some communication. Gallagher said, Gallagher slows our transition in attack. We also look lethargic without him. What's your thoughts on that? Yeah, I agree. I think at times he plays it too safe. Like we saw it against Fulham. I saw Pochettino literally lose his mind over the back pass that he made in a moment where hit him Fulham on transition and he's passing backwards. Like, what is that about? But again, I just think it's a case of Pochettino's playing it safe. He's consistently going to start Gallagher, whatever happens, and he will accommodate for him. He will make changes around Gallagher to fit and to suit and to complement Gallagher. It doesn't make sense, guys, really. Like, I'm not saying that he's a bad player. I just don't think he's that good enough of a player to have to shift the whole team around him and play players out their position just to suit him. But he plays it too safe at times. He does. And although I think he's improved technically on the ball, I still think he loses the ball a bit too easily for my liking. But yeah, we will be competing with Man United if we get a striker. The question is who? Yeah, again, but I think Arsenal are in for a strike. I think they all very much need one. I mean, if they want to look remotely serious moving forward, going against Man City or, fighting for their place in the top spots, they've obviously got Jesus and Ketia. I don't think that's going to be enough for them to be bagging the goals they need. Obviously they haven't got the fit Saka, Martinelli and Odegaard from last season that are bagging them all the goals. So I think they need one too. I think they're in for a striker, or they probably would want to get one. Man United, yeah, I mean, obviously Højlund's picking up some form, so probably, but yeah, I don't know. I think whoever we want to sign, it's going to be tricky. I mean, look, I obviously still think that Chelsea's an attractive club. I don't see why you wouldn't come to Chelsea, but it's more of a case of if you want to play in Europe, if you want to play Champions League football, then that's maybe just in the current time what those teams might have over us. But again, I don't see why you wouldn't, if you didn't believe in the talent if you didn't believe that we could potentially be headed in a better direction, fighting to get back into Europe, etc., then I don't know, but we'll see. We will see. I think we're just going to sign, I can never pronounce his name, Awoni, or someone like that. I have this gut feeling, someone not at the highest level. But I wouldn't be happy with that. Would you be happy with that? As in, look, talented plays all you like. I just want someone that's got a more extensive CV to back it up, to back up the quality, to back up the potential. I just want some numbers, guys. Let's get Drogba back in 6 months. Yeah, if Drogba can return to his form from 20 years ago, I would love that. It'd be very much welcome. But again, yeah, just dreams, isn't it? Different times, unfortunately. Who do you think is the GOAT in the Chelsea women? I mean, my favourite player is Sam Kerr. Obviously, it's such a shame that she's out and injured right now, but that just basically sums up the whole season, doesn't it? For Chelsea, just in general, the year, the luck, the everything. But I think it's just such a shame, and it pains me that she's not going to play under Emma, which is obviously the worst part of it all. But yeah, she is definitely my favourite player. Who's yours, Liv? Big up Nina, my all-time Chelsea fan crush. Oh, thank you so much. That's very kind of you to say. Vincent says, I think Chelsea have so many wasteful players like Broja and Nkunku injury prone. Yeah, but look, I don't think Nkunku's injury prone. I just think it was a bit unlucky. Though, wasn't he injured at Leipzig? Wasn't he injured at the times that we were trying to start all the just all sorting out all the documents and stuff for him to come in the next window, and obviously he was injured I think at the time, but look, again, I don't think that's going to be the case. I mean, I hope not. I don't want another injury prone player at Chelsea, but yeah, look, we'll see. I think he's got so much potential. He's such an exciting player. I think I speak on the behalf of the whole fan base when I say that, we've been begging for someone like Nkunku to come. He's obviously shown wonders in pre-season, but he's also got quality and he's got goals to back it up. We've seen him have that sort of striker. Well, he's not a striker, but we've seen him have a forward instinct finish. When he's got the ball at his feet, he can finish you a chance. He's a creator. He's so technical. He's quick. And again, I'm just so excited to see him in his full fitness, full potential, firing in his natural position. Pochettino, please. Thank you for inspiring me to do my channel. Thank you so much for commenting on my videos. Oh, that's okay, Liv. I wish you the best of luck with your channel. And everyone, do me a favor and check out Liv's channel. She posts Chelsea content too. She's a great fan, so please do check her channel. Give her a like, give her a subscribe. It would be very much appreciated. What about Benzema update? Look, I don't think it's realistic, Vincent, but a fan can dream. Yeah, a fan can dream. But who knows? But no, guys, it's probably not going to happen, is it? Although I don't think it's ridiculous him returning to the Premier League. I think yeah, we could see it, but who could afford that? Who could afford that? Saudi, please can you cover his wages? Thank you. Now that Chilwell is back, Poch needs to play him in his actual position. I'm not ready for another handball, I swear. Look, I think we all want that, but are we going to have that? No. Guys, let me remind you that we had at one point Matson, Cucurella, and Chilwell on the bench. I think it was the Aston Villa game, and Colwill still started ahead of them. So that is false hope there. I'm telling you, brother. I don't think that Pochettino is going to start Colwill as a centre back, Chilwell as a left back. Why would he? I think it's ridiculous. But if he doesn't, if he continues to overcomplicate it, I think he's going to start to see a very unhappy Colwill and probably a very unhappy Chilwell too. Because does he enjoy playing left winger? No. Like, we did win the Champions League with Chilwell as a left back, didn't we? So I don't get that. What's that about? Big up, Matt. Proper Chelsea. You're proper Chelsea. You're proper Chelsea. Hope you're all good though, mate. Thanks so much for joining. Would you take Tony for 19 million? Oof, that is a bit steep. But again, look, it depends on how desperate you are. If we can have a fit Tony that we saw at Brentford, bagging the goals, getting you the goals, although it's not been that impressive, he's still got the goals to his name. Like, he's still a striker. He still can be clinical. And again, like, he's got the CV to back it up. I don't need to worry about him integrating himself into the league. I don't need to worry about him, settling. He's played against all the Premier League sides. He's scored against most of them. So that's not really something I worry about. It's more of the fact that it's 90 million. It's a lot of money, but again, it depends. If we can have a fully fit Tony that will get you the goals, that will help you climb further up, will help you secure Europe, will help you find your way back up there, then I'd think about it. But again, if we can justify paying 100 million or nearly 100 for players like Mudryk that just arrived and had played only like a year or two of senior football, and with many other players as well, considering we paid more than 110 million for midfielders that haven't been doing it for that long, different positions, but we're talking about the price here. So again, at least he's got an actual CV to back that price tag up with. And again, I talk about strikers that cost 100 million and they've only had like good 2 seasons. So unfortunately, supply and demand, that's just how the market's going to work. So yeah, Lauren James is my favorite player. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I mean, Lauren James is incredible, isn't she? I've been a fan, Michael says, of Chelsea since 1967. Wow, Michael. Your channel is the only one I've ever subscribed to, and this is my first ever live chat, so thank you. Really enjoying your channel, so keep going. Oh, Michael, thank you so much. That's such a sweet comment. Wow, talk about a true Chelsea fan since 67. Fair play to you. So you've probably seen us through every moment of suffering, and you've seen us through all the heights at our club. So yeah, that's really, really great. But again, I really appreciate you, and thank you so much for being here. What about Mitrovic? I think he will fit in our system well. Yeah, again, I said he's done it in the Prem. I wouldn't worry about him doing that, but particularly he wouldn't be my preference. I don't think he's yeah, I don't think he'll be that suited to Chelsea personally. I don't know. Great stream up the Chelsea. The Kingslayer says, thank you so much. I'm waiting for your first watch along, dear. Well, actually, I was thinking about watch alongs, but I go to all the home games, so I could never really do one for a home game. But if you guys would like me to, I could potentially start doing watch alongs for our away games. So if that's something you'd like to see, let me know, because I could consider it. But then that means you guys have to watch me talk through a full 90 minutes of a game. Interesting. I haven't done one before, but I could try. And if you guys like it, then I might make it a regular thing. But yeah, I just think about how I watch games and like what I say. I kind of talk to myself, but I suppose I'd be doing the same thing anyway if I'm on here doing that. But yeah, thanks for the idea. I'll consider it. And if you guys want to see it, then do it. Only a Chelsea 9 shirt could ruin Benzema. You're so right, Matt. Steer away from the number 9 Benzema and you will be absolutely fine. We need to burn that number. Right, guys, thank you so much. We're nearly coming up to an hour, so I'm going to round this out shortly. But again, I thank you so much to everyone that's still here, still watching me waffle, has liked this video. Yeah, really, really great. Michael says, we have so many players that are made of glass these days. Even Charlie is injured. What's that whole thing about Charlie being injured? I think I've missed something. Is he injured? What's wrong with him? Right. Okay, let's get through a few more comments, guys, and I will let you all get on with your evenings. Oh, why has my laptop just frozen? Then soon I'll be potch out if I see Chile at left wing. Yeah, look, again, it just makes no sense. Nina, who's your favorite Chelsea YouTuber? By the way, big up to you. Thank you so much, Saeed. My favorite YouTuber, I have a few actually. I think when I first started sort of like coming into the YouTube space, I watched a lot of George Benson. I watched Eunice Talks Football. These are Chelsea YouTubers I'm talking about, by the way. Elizabeth Helenek, she's a good friend of mine. I like her channel. Yeah, I watch Matisse as well. I'm sure a lot of you watch them as well because obviously Chelsea YouTubers. But yeah, I mean, they're like my favorite, I'd say. Chelsea YouTubers, they're all great. Maybe I'll do some collaborations with them soon. Judge Mo as well. He's got a great channel. I been on there a few times, but yeah, he's got a great channel, has really cool shows. Yeah, I have a few. Obviously, he's not a Chelsea YouTuber, but just a YouTuber. But yeah, anyways, guys, if you would like to see any specific videos from me, let me know in the comments because I have thought about maybe switching up my content a little bit, maybe doing some sort of, yeah, just maybe like throwback videos of kind of the old Chelsea, you know, favorite players, sort of all-time 11, something like that. But let me know what you'd like to see. I'm going to try and make live streams a regular occurrence as well. I've got some exams coming up, so I'll be a little bit anti this week. But yeah, I'm going to work on some new stuff for you. But thanks to everyone who's stuck by me, has helped me get to 3,500 subscribers, which is mental, on the road to 4K. So if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Thank you so much to everyone that has been here till the end, that has watched me. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your week. Have a good weekend. And yeah, we'll be back with some Carabao Cup and some FA Cup content next week, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely evening.